I've got some exciting Black Friday music production news for you today, as well as having my biggest giveaway yet, with 19 prizes valued at almost $5,000. So I've got Black Friday deals from companies including Universal Audio, Arturia, IK Multimedia, Sonible, UJAM, Musik Hack, Output, Soundtheory, LANDR and Lunacy Audio, and I've gotten prizes from every single one of these companies for my Black Friday mega giveaway. All you have to do to enter is follow the link in the description down below. But hang on a second, you're going to need a couple of secret codes which I'm going to show on the screen during this video. They'll look something like this, but this is not one of them. Now, on top of all of that, one of these companies hadn't quite started their Black Friday sales yet, so they've generously created a coupon for viewers of this video so they can get early access. Again, follow the link in the description down below, and I've put the coupon code down there. Now, there's a lot to get through today, so let's get started. Okay, full disclosure, I am a little bit of a Universal Audio fanboy. I've got a couple of their interfaces, some of their microphones, and a whole bunch of their plugins. So I guess I am a little biased when I say I really do think you should check out their Black Friday sales. They've got deals on all of these things I've mentioned, including audio interfaces, microphones, guitar pedals, and plugins. Now, I don't want you to think that you have to have Universal Audio gear to run their plugins. They've got a growing number of what they call native plugins that can be run on your CPU. Now, some of my favorites amongst those native plugins are the LA2A 1176. I love their Lexicon Reverb and their Pultec EQ, which finds its way into so many of my sessions. Now, I mentioned earlier that I've got a couple of their interfaces. One of them is this, the Volt 276. I really love this because I use it when I'm sort of going mobile. It's a really high quality interface in a kind of a small package. And it's great that it's got this 76 style compression on there. And who would you want for 76 style compression other than Universal Audio? Now, I think all of you would be pleased if I were to say that this audio interface is the first of our prizes, but it isn't, because Universal Audio have generously donated a much bigger brother of this, the 476. Now, that's got a whole bunch more inputs and outputs, including a couple of headphone outputs, and it's got all that compression and stuff that I mentioned earlier. Now, I also didn't mention earlier that these Volt interfaces come with a whole bunch of plugins as well. Check out the link in the description down below for this, and what a great start to our giveaway. If you're looking for some emulations of vintage keys like Wurlitzer or Fender Rhodes, or maybe some classic analog and digital synths, then the V collection from Arturia is a great place to start. They've also got a nice range of acoustic pianos in there, as well as some hybrid instruments in the form of their Augmented series, where they cleverly blend things like brass and strings together with synth sounds. Now, outside of this, Arturia also has their own soft synth called Pigments. Now, I absolutely love Pigments for its presets, especially its lush pads, but it's also a great place to get started with your own sound design. Now, if you want all of this together in one kind of convenient and easy to navigate package, then I'd recommend Analog Lab Pro. Here we don't get quite the same level of control, but we still maintain some control of these instruments. But I love it for its convenience to have all of that at your fingertips in one plugin. Now, I also make use of Arturia's effects collection. What I love about their attitude towards classic effects is they do a lovely emulation of them, but then they put their own twist on them, which is suitable for a plugin format. Now, all of this is in their Black Friday sales, where you can get 50% off. And if you happen to be one of the lucky 3 winners of prizes from Arturia, you'll win either an effects collection license, V collection, or Pigments. Did you know IK Multimedia are currently selling Total Studio 4 Max for $149.99. Now they say that if you took all of the individual products in this bundle and paid for them separately, it would come to over $12,000. And I think I believe them because there's over 165 products in there with like 670 gigabytes of sound, for example. That's pretty difficult for me to know where to start with this one, so I'll just talk about some of the things I use more regularly. So for example, I often use Amplitude 5. It's one of my go-to amp sims. I also, and let me know in the comments down below if you do also, use Miroslav Philharmonic quite often. Even though this is an old orchestral plugin, I think it still stands up really well in terms of sound. Now I also use some newcomers. I absolutely love Modo bass and Modo drums. I think that modeled instruments are the future as opposed to sampled instruments, so I love seeing these products in there. Now I'm always making use of their T-Rex collection, especially one plugin called, well, One. Now this has been around for a while and I've often talked about it. It's probably in my top 3 plugins of all time. I've often used it in my mastering and I feel a bit guilty because sometimes people will say, wow, that's a great master, what do you use? And I'm like, I used one and it took me like about 5 minutes. There wasn't that much skill involved, maybe taste, but not skill. So I'm glad to see that's in there. Now, believe it or not, this Total Studio Max bundle is not the prize for this part of the giveaway. Instead, IK Multimedia have put up the new T-Rax 6 Max collection with all those lovely T-Rax plugins in there, some of the latest ones, and I'm already using this one in my productions every day, and I think if you're the lucky winner, you're going to love it too. I'm about to tell you about the most valuable individual prize in this giveaway, but before I do, I'd like to show you one of my guilty pleasures. This is Virtual Pianist Vogue from UJAM. Now, I normally like to play every single note in my composition. However, even for someone like me, this is an incredibly powerful and inspiring tool. In a moment when I play you the demo, if you look at the keyboard on the right hand side here, that's going to show you what actual keys I was pressing. Not what you're hearing, but just the notes I was pressing. Then further along to the side here, with these notes, I can create some variations. And then on the left hand side here, I can control the kind of feel, if you like, the emotion of the playing. So let's have a listen. So the reason I've shown you this particular instrument is because it fairly well represents the common theme with UJAM instruments. Yes, you can play them in the regular way and they sound great, but you've also got a huge number of patterns and styles available with them as well. And this can really be helpful in getting your song up and running really, really quickly, whether you end up using them in the end or not. Now here we were looking at the piano, but there's a whole range of other instruments, like for example we've got drums, we've got some bass, we've got guitar, and we've got strings as well as many others. Now, if you head over to the UJAM site at the moment, you'll see they've got a really fantastic Black Friday sale on. Some of these instruments are as low as like $19 or something like that. They're up to 80% off. It's a really great time to get hold of them. Now, as for that giveaway prize, well, UJAM have very generously offered the Music Creation Suite as a prize. Now, normally this costs $999, so it's quite a prize. I think it includes, if my memory serves me right, 59 individual instruments. That's massive. Now, you'll be glad to hear that this Music Creation Suite is also in the Black Friday sale. So if you go ahead and buy it, I think it's got 50% off at the moment. Amazing. Smart EQ 4 from Sonible has all of the features you'd expect from a modern EQ. You can add filters like so. Some of them can even be dynamic, but that's not what is so smart about this version. I'm going to go up to the top here and select Guitar Acoustic because this has been applied to an acoustic guitar. Then I'm going to click on the Learn button and I'm going to play my acoustic guitar. Okay, so it's come up with an EQ curve here based upon the fact that it's listened to hundreds or maybe thousands of acoustic guitars, and it's determined that this is a great starting point. And you can implement this to a greater or lesser degree. Now, I want you to take note about something with this curve. In the lower half, it's just below the center line there, and it's reasonably flat, okay? Now, I'm going to show you something really smart. I'm going to add this to a group by clicking on it over here, and the group I'm going to add it to is called main buses. I already created this, and it's a whole bunch of buses already having the Smart EQ4 inserted on them, and you can see them all here on the left hand side. Now here I can create a hierarchy of things I want at the front, the middle, and the back of the mix. I'm going to move this guitar actually to the back of the mix. Now what I'm going to do is click on the Learn All button, and then I'm going to play all of my instruments.
Please believe me, though you feel me.
Okay, so now it's come up with an EQ curve for all of my instruments, not just based upon their individual attributes, but also how they need to fit in the mix. If we go back to our acoustic guitar here, look at how that's changed in the lower half here. We've got a pronounced dip at around about 200 hertz, and that's because the plugin has determined that it needs to make room for some other instruments in that frequency range. This is super smart, and the reason I've shown it to you is because it's typical of the kind of approach that Sonible has in their smart range of plugins. And you've got some important ones like a limiter and a compressor, and this one included in one of their bundles called Smart Essentials. Now that's important for two reasons. First of all, that's got a huge discount at the moment in their Black Friday sales. Check the link for that in the description down below. And also, this is our prize from Sonible for our giveaway. LANDR is probably the best known of all of the online mastering services, but did you know you can also get it as a plugin in your DAW? This is the LANDR Mastering Pro plugin. I've already had it analyzed my track, and it's come up with 3 different versions of the master: the warm, balanced, and open version. Let's have a quick listen to the balanced version.
Please believe me, though you feel me.
Now let's compare that to the unmastered track.
Please believe me, though.
So the first thing is it made it quite a lot louder. In fact, we can see down here that we've got a measurement of minus 10.6 LUFS. And that's a nice, healthy measurement. Now, once you've got your 3 versions, you can go ahead and tweak them all using the controls down here. And you don't need to have like a mastering degree to understand this. They're pretty straightforward controls, and it's really your taste which is going to be the main tool. So let's go ahead and make a couple of adjustments to this balanced master.
Please believe me, though you feel me. This is nothing new.
Now I can go ahead and compare that to either the warm or the open version easily here. So it's really nice to hear the difference between those versions on the fly very, very quickly. Now this is available as an individual plugin, but I would recommend that you follow the link in the description down below and check out their ultimate plugin bundle. You can see it here. Now remember, the prices you're seeing here is in Australian dollars, so make sure you follow the link in the description down below to see it in your local currency. Now, apart from all of the various LANDR plugins we can see here, there's also some SynchroArts plugins in there. Things like Repitch Standard, Vocaline 6 Pro. I use that in almost all of my projects. It's one of my favorite plugins for getting all of your vocals lined up really quickly. And also we've got Revoice Pro here as well. Now, LANDR have given us 3 prizes for this giveaway. Each of them is the Repitch Elements plugin, a great tool for pitch correction on your vocals. Now remember, you're gonna need those 2 secret codes, which I'll show on the screen through this video, to enter the giveaway. I'll give you a clue. One of them has already been shown, so if you didn't catch it, you might want to rewind and take a look again. One of them is yet to come, so keep watching. Output currently have 50% off of all instrument and effects plugins and 30% off of annual subscriptions for Output Arcade. And it's Arcade that we're going to focus on here. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a cloud-based, sample-based instrument where you can browse by instrument type, by its function, or by the genre. So I'm going to look for pianos. I'll click on piano here. If I scroll down, I can see a selection. I can preview any that I like here. So I could preview this one. And if I want to make use of it, I can click on the download button. Now, I've already downloaded this vocal bass instrument here. All of the samples are available on my piano keyboard. You can see those at the bottom here, for example. We can modify those samples using these modifier keys here. We can add effects up here, and we've got all sorts of other ways to make this our own. Now, one thing I really love about this is it's always in tempo with your DAW project, so you don't have to worry about sort of stretching samples and things like that. And also we can make sure that it's in key with our piece of music. So I'm just going to change this to C sharp minor because that's the key of the piece of music I've created earlier. Now, I've already downloaded another couple of instruments, some drums and also a guitar bass instrument here. And I literally took like a minute and a half or less than that to put this little demo together. Have a quick listen. This is a really cool tool, particularly if you've got kind of writer's block or something like that. It's a great way to get inspiration if nothing else. Now, Output have generously donated for the prizes here in this part of the giveaway 3 annual subscriptions for Output Arcade for 3 lucky winners. Soundtheory were made famous with their intelligent dynamic EQ called Golfus, but today I'm going to focus on a much newer plugin from them called Crafter. Now, the quickest and most dirty explanation I can give you for Crafter is that it uses both clipping and saturation to make your mixes sound louder while still maintaining dynamics, and it uses both single and multi-band processing. Now, having said all of that, you could also use it on individual tracks. It doesn't have to be on the whole mix, but that's where I've got it today. And one thing I like about it is how easy it is to use. It's got really simple controls. I'm going to start off with this one up here, where we can blend our dry single processing and multi-band signals. So let's have a listen to those 3. And I guess Superman never really ever gave a damn about Lois Lane, the Daily Planet, all the people there. He's just showing off. Now you can definitely hear there that with both the single and multiband processing, it got quite a lot louder. And I found that the single band sounded a lot muddier than the multiband processing. And I believe that's because, of course, with the multiband processing, we get control over what happens in the low, mid, and high frequency ranges. So in this example, I had a lot less processing going on with the low frequencies here, okay? And that kind of separated them from those mid and high frequencies. We can actually listen to each of them individually with these sort of solo controls up here, so I can expose the low, the mids, and the higher frequencies up here, and I can control the crossover points as well. Now we get overall control of, for example, the input drive here with this drive control, and then we've got control over how soft or hard the processing is with this offset and knee control here. Over on the right hand side, we can turn on our clipper and we can control its ceiling here with this control. That's a very quick explanation of this plugin. Now, the great news is this plugin is in their Black Friday sale. It's got 30% off at the moment, and also their Golfus EQ plugin has 40% off. And the other good news is we've got 2 prizes in this part of the giveaway, and we have Golfus and Crafter as those 2 prizes. This is Beam from Lunacy Audio, and I have to admit I've only actually had a couple of hours to try it out, and I can already see it's quite a deep plugin, but I'll do my best to give you an overview and give you a hint to its capabilities. I've got it applied to this piano, which currently sounds like this. And if I switch the plugin on with this preset called Above, let's have a listen to what it's doing at the moment. Okay, that's nice. Now we can see that's made up of 3 different nodes. We've got a space node here, we can definitely hear that, and then we've got a couple of filter nodes, and we can add more nodes if we wish. We can go down here to add nodes. Let's say add this grain node here, and I'll just drop it in on this little beam here like so. Now we can easily move these around, as you can see, so I could actually drop it over there. We can even create other paths, so I'll drag a path out like so, and then I'll move my grain node down there, and right away you can see we can easily make quite complex sounds. Let's have a listen to that. Now I'll just take that off and we'll go back to our more simple layout. We'll get rid of this path, and I want to show you how you can create movement now with these different nodes. So I'm just going to click on this filter node over here, and you can see that one of our controls is this cutoff control. So let's play our part, and I'll move that around to see what effect it has. Okay, so that's interesting, but I don't really want to move it with my mouse. I'd rather it was automated. So I could, for example, use one of these LFOs over here. I can grab that and drag it across and put it on that control. I can then determine the range of effect that that's having on it. And now let's have a listen and see what we hear. Now, as well as that LFO over there, which I can control by clicking on it here, I've also got another LFO and also an envelope here as well. So you can see that you could quickly use these to build up movement on controls within each node. This is just a really quick overview of what this plugin is capable of. I've got to tell you, it's a lot of fun, and it feels, I don't know if it's just the interface, but it feels very, very sort of organic. I love the way you can create these layers and this movement and really make some unique effects. Now, this is currently actually not on sale yet with Lunacy Audio. Their sales haven't started, but they've generously created a special code for viewers of this video. You can see that in the description down below, and that's going to give you early access to their Black Friday sales. And I believe you get something like 50% off if you use that code. Now, the other thing that they've donated is a prize for this giveaway, and it is indeed Beam that the lucky lucky winner will get. I reviewed this version of Master Plan earlier in the year. I loved it then and I still love it now. Now I think this is going to appeal to the kind of people who want to do their own masters and they don't want lots of automation. They still want to keep their hands dirty whilst at the same time not having a complex chain of plugins to deal with and having some pretty straightforward controls. And that's what we've got here. I'm going to do a very quick master now, and I'm not going to explain all of these controls to you. However, if you want to know what I'm adjusting, as I hover over a control, you'll see a nice little tooltip at the bottom, and that will tell you exactly what it does. Now I'm going to start off with the loudness, and I'm aiming for around about, I don't know, -9 in terms of LUFS, and I'll be keeping an eye on the metering at the bottom for that. So let's do that first. And I guess Superman never really ever gave a damn about Lois Lane, the Daily Planet, all the people there. He's just okay, so job done there. I'm going to go ahead and use the other controls to try and just tweak the best out of my master. And I guess Superman never really ever gave a damn about Lois Lane, the Daily Planet, all the people there. He's just showing off, cause his parents didn't love him much, and you believed in me. I guess Superman never really ever gave a damn about Lois Lane, the Daily Planet, all the people there. He's just showing off, cause his parents didn't love him much, and you believed in me. I guess Superman never really ever gave a damn about Lois Lane. Now you may have noticed there I adjusted some of these controls. I turn them up, I turn them down, some of them I switch them off again. You still need to use your ears, and that's what's wonderful about this plugin. It really sort of encourages you to do that. Now Master Plan is available in Musik Hack's Black Friday sales. I believe it's 50% off for both the perpetual or permanent license and also for their rent to own kind of scheme. And the great news is Musik Hack have donated 3 licenses for this for 3 lucky winners. Now I've got some important info about this giveaway, but before I get onto that, let me know in the comments down below which of these sales you're most likely to take advantage of, and indeed which of these prizes would you be most excited to win. I'd love to hear from you on that. Now this giveaway ends on the 2nd of November, and I'll let the winners know by email within a couple of days after the end of the giveaway. Now you will need those 2 secret codes to enter, and they have both been shown on the screen already. So if you didn't catch them, now is the time to rewind the video and have a look again. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Mike. I hope you're well, and I'll see you in the next video.